Hello. We are live. I am trialing out StreamerBot because Caster Labs has let me down with how long it takes for it to push through messages into the chat. So we're trying a different piece of software. I don't know if I'm ever gonna dive into the full breadth of what StreamerBots has to offer a streamer, whether or not I really need it, considering I don't have an actual active viewership. But if it works for the chat, that's enough. What else was I gonna say? Oh, also, I seem to have got Pretzel working. I think it might have fixed an update, or I don't know, something or another. I mean, what StreamBot seems to currently be doing is spamming my chatbot with updates about how my broadcast is updated, but hopefully that'll stop doing it every 40 seconds. So I'm gonna give my thoughts on episode 7 of Agatha All Along, Beth's Hand in Mine, and then I'm gonna probably spend some time at the end just making sure that this is working whilst we're actually live. And then I'm actually ahead of schedule with my day. Like, the rest of the day is mine for once. So I might actually get some gaming done today. But lots for me to love this episode. From a visual perspective, probably one of my two favourite witches in fiction. I've got representation, so loving that. The Wicked Witch of the West, or Elphaba to her friends, and Maleficent. I mean, Glinda's probably fine, and the witch from Snow White, if she has a name, the Queen, whatever her name is. It's not hugely relevant. Why? I guess it's just to fit the castle vibe. It doesn't play into the challenge as much, I guess, as the other trials do. Oh, I suppose character reading is kind of fairy tale-ish, so maybe that's kind of a tie-in there. Beat that side. But yeah, this is a clever episode. I love the reveal that all of the outbursts that we've been hearing Lila do the entire show, all the random phrases that she's been kind of belching out with. The fact that it's revealed that it's actually part of parts of them are part of a sentence, some of them are her just mid-scene saying something, and then she gets pulled back to the future or to the past. And then we get to see those clips in order, and those kind of said on screen in the context of which she's saying it, and it makes most of it makes sense. I don't really get the whole to think we started off hating each other and now I love you guys. That was the most random and perhaps less well embedded. I mean, it's still the same cleverness of a phrase that had been said previously, actually, but she doesn't say it in any particular, the context in which she says it doesn't make much sense. I don't really get the sense that this coven has progressed. I don't think anyone's got any sudden, nothing's really changed. They all joined the coven because they had something to gain. Most of them were fairly amicable to each other under the correct assumption that they were all being manipulated by Agatha, but they were all, down the luck witches, here for the same thing. No reason really to bite anyone in the back, so they were just kind of, being casually friendly, distrustful of Agatha. That's at no point has that changed. They had a small bonding session at the end of one of the sessions, the one where Rio tells Agatha that Philly's not her son, But other than that, there's not anything to really justify a sudden kind of outburst of, or any sort of reason why Lila would suggest that they've like progressed as characters and like, I'm sorry, they have progressed as characters, but like they've bonded as characters. So I didn't really get where that came from. It was still clever, but I didn't really get where that phrase came from. But the rest of it was like, I loved it. I loved kind of like every time they bounce back, I'll bounce in the timeline of things. I had to like pause the episode and just give my mind a second to like think. And I'm sure when we'll like watch the series from the beginning again, I don't know how much rewatch value this show is going to have, but if they do, they'll be able to like watch elements of that and be like, I know where this is going. And like it was really clever foreshadowing in times as well, like the whole thing about, oh, we haven't seen the Salem 7 since the subway, and then later on you see them flashback, jump back. You see Lila's mind go back to when they were at the subway station. I'm like, oh, we're about to see the Salem 7. I know that's like not the cleverest. It's kind of both the clever and not clever form of I lost any ability to speak just then. Foreshadowing. It was clever. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that bit. I enjoyed the trial. I'm not quite sure what gave Lila her epiphany. Why can't I say words today? Gave her epiphany to realize that to save the day, to win the trial, that she had to do it on herself. I mean, it seemed a natural kind of assumption to make. I don't know if she really figured it out or if it was just a good, educated guess. But I like the idea of doing tarot cards and that if you do it wrong, swords fall down and one of them might fall on you, and it's kind of very much plays into the whole chance situation. So that was fun. I liked jump backs previous episodes. I like Agatha's solution. Like Agatha didn't have much to do in this episode. It was very much Lila driven, and I think Lila and Jen both had a lot more to do in this episode, which is good. It's good to kind of take a break from the main protagonists. Even Billy didn't have much to do in this episode. I think it was very much driven by the other two, which is fine, but they still got those character moments. We saw Agatha trying to brute force situation, showing a lot of like kind of a scathing lack of faith into magic, and being like, obviously she knows what tarot cards are and she's not completely like, rejecting of it as a form of magic. I assume so, but she's still fairly disparaging and still feel like, well, I know I'm obviously not going to solve this by actually doing tarot card reading because that's not my skill set, so I'm just going to have to brute force it. And to be fair, that might have actually worked. There's only a certain number of, I saw nothing to suggest the swords reset. So I saw nothing to suggest that the swords reset. So presumably if a sword falls, you can just stand directly beneath where it was and you would be safe. You eventually be crushed by the ceiling, but you'd be safer for longer. I guess you can't necessarily reach the table and play the game then. But if you're quick enough, you could probably, the swords certainly seem dodgeable. You just need to like, I'm going to play this card, look up, it falls, move, go back. Presumably when you're in the right spot, you can just keep playing it until you win. But obviously I know I was going to win because that would be boring. Clearly you had to play it the right way, you had to do it self-discovering, and it had to be Lila who did it because of her trial. And then, I guess it's the way of the world. All prophets, all soothsayers, all those gifted of sight must eventually die in a way which is tragic but inevitable and foreseen by them. And Lila realizes, I keep calling her Lila, and I don't actually know if I'm saying her name right. I'm forgetting if that's. Wow, completely like typed Agatha all along using none of the letters in that. Yeah, Lila is the name. Yeah, I was right. accepts that that's her time and knows that, you know, I mean, she didn't need to sacrifice herself. They weren't like immediately in danger from the Seven. They had gotten closer, but I guess she's like, well, I might as well. This is my moment. Use it best I can. It did seem like a quite fairly like, I don't know. Is that how the Seven go out? Like, are they no longer a threat? They've barely been a threat the entire show. I assume they were just going to be trailing the team until like the end and then all dealt with at once. It would be a bit of a shame if like her sacrifice didn't mean anything, but also it kind of like, well, what was the build up towards? Not that, you know, her death is an inconsequential price to pay for them being all killed off. Maybe that is the case because maybe now we've established Rio as a new threat. I'm also not clear about Rio being deaf as like the significance. I mean, obviously, if someone came to me in real life and was like, "Hey, you know this person we know? They're deaf," I'd be like, "What the heck?" But Marvel's obviously a different world, and I kind of need to explain to me what grounding I'm on there. What else in this episode gave me thoughts? I think that's pretty much it. I was very much engaged the entire way through. Like I said, very clever. Certainly the episode that has the most rewatch value. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'm just gonna like quickly throw like a test message into here. I kind of want to see what happens. Ooh. Okay, so it sends it into all the chat, which is fine. And then presumably if I type test 1 in here, I'll send it through fairly quickly, like quickly enough anyway. Then test 2 into here. Yep, that works. And then I just want to see what it looks like on the actual stream. Oh, that's not gonna work. I need to look at my mobile. So yeah, the review's over now. By the way, I'm just testing on my. I'm just testing the new chatbot. Do you work out better? Yeah, I suppose that's fine. Right in front of my eyes. Okay, that's not too bad. If it's appearing, my green screen is doing a job of like not, and obviously my camera's blurry, but like appearing on top there is fine. I mean, where it is on this chart here is fine. And then if I guess that's. Yeah, and that's probably like as much as anyone's ever gonna like realistic. I mean, if you're writing more than that, what are you doing? Yeah. Okay, well I'm fairly happy with that. That's come across. That'll work for me. And then does it let me? Okay, so if I type, this is a problematic comment. And if I delete this, can I delete it? Oh, I can't delete it. Interesting. Because I can delete the. What if I delete it off here? No. So I can delete the Twitch one. Something to look forward, something to look into, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna get a stream set up for gaming and see how well this works on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll catch you for Lower Decks.